I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn and welcome to your Match Live coaching session. So today we're going to be talking to you all about confidence. Now, if we think about dating and we list our qualities of an attractive partner we're looking for, confidence often comes pretty high up the list. But more than that, not having confidence or experiencing confidence in dating can really negatively impact your dating experiences. It could mean that perhaps you get stuck in a relationship that you know isn't right for you for far too long. It may hold you back from approaching people or sending out that first message. Or you may just leave a date feeling really self-critical and focusing on exactly what you did wrong. Instead of coming from that perspective of, are they right for me? You might accidentally fall into people pleasing. So today, my goal is to help to give you some mindset and also some really practical tools for how you can build your confidence and your self-esteem with dating. So to talk to you a little bit about what our session is going to involve today, after this introduction, in our first section, I'm going to be talking to you about five ways that having low self-confidence can impact your dating life. And then I'm going to be giving you tools and mindsets to overcome those obstacles. So whether that's going on dates that you're not really into because you feel you should, or feeling that you have a really negative belief about your dating life, we're going to be looking about how you can tackle that. In our second section, we're going to be getting a bit more practical, and I'm going to be teaching you how to walk the walk and talk the talk in order to come across confidently on your dates. So if you're currently worried that you seem nervous or don't quite know how to interact in a way that seems confident and natural, hopefully I'll be giving you some really good tools that you can use to come across naturally and confidently on your dates. In our final section, I'm going to be going through 10 quick hacks to improve your confidence. So these are the kind of things you can jot down, stick on your fridge and use to make those snap decisions about dating that are going to gradually build your self-esteem. As ever, at the end of this session, we have a 30-minute live Q&A, which is often actually my favourite part of the session because I get to understand exactly what you're thinking and feeling about. So please feel free to send me your questions in. I really want this session to be all about you. So if you can interact as much as possible, that would make me very happy. As ever, if I say something you like, there's a heart button on the screen. You can give me a like. You will also notice there's a little plus button on the screen. This is for our survey. During this live coaching session, I will be asking you 3 survey questions, and you can use the plus button to cast your vote, yes or no. This is really great because it not only gives me a chance to understand exactly how you feel about something, but we can also see how other Match members out there are thinking and feeling about that question as well. Now, whilst I will be taking some questions that people have sent in advance at the end of each section, as I said, there's also a live Q&A at the end of this coaching session. If you'd like to send me a question in right now or at any point throughout this live, maybe you want to ask for more clarification on something I've said or for an exercise or help with a specific problem you're experiencing, you can use the chat box on the screen to be able to do that. This is also a really good opportunity for you to be able to interact with other Match members. So remember, you can like, you can vote, you can send questions in. Let's make this coaching session really about you. So before we get going into my first set of questions that I've received from you at home, let's just do a really quick recap. Okay, so first of all, we've got to remember that confidence is a really attractive quality. We know as well that having low confidence can negatively impact your dating life. And this session is really about how you can build your confidence. So remember, confidence isn't like a light switch. We can't just turn it on and off, but it is something you can grow and develop over time. So I'm going to go in and check in on what my first question is. And this one was sent in advance. It's from someone called Snowdrop. Not sure if that's your real name, but it's very nice. Who asks, should you date more than one person until you have the conversation? Now, this is modern dating, isn't it? This is one of the most confusing parts of it. You can be seeing someone really regularly, messaging them all the time, being physically intimate, but you may not be in an actual relationship until you've had a conversation about it. So before you've had that commitment conversation, what do? Do you just date one person at a time, or are you supposed to date multiple people? Well, this is one of these questions in dating where I think we really have to get away from this idea that there's one way that everyone has to do things and that there's a rule or that there's a should. Really, this is about identifying your personal preferences for how you want to date. So for some of you out there, you'll prefer to get to know a couple of different people, maybe more, until you feel ready to commit. For others of you, it will only feel natural to focus on one person at a time. And I don't think either of those approaches is right or wrong, but it is important that you communicate to your dates about what your personal preferences are. So that could be saying something like, I just love to focus on one person at a time, or I'm really enjoying getting to know people at the moment before I think about commitment. So wherever you stand is okay, but just make sure you communicate that to your date, and obviously look out for dates who are on a similar page for you in terms of the style of commitment they want and how fast they want to become committed. Okay, our next question is from Zach, who asks, how do you get the girl to like you back? Right, well, this is an interesting one, Zach, because I actually think we can't really get anyone to do anything, and there's unfortunately no magic line or something I could teach you that will get you the result you want. However, when you do want to meet somebody and try and engage with them in a romantic way, there's two really important things you need to remember. The first is, are you communicating clearly enough? So rather than trying to get her to like you and hoping she chooses you, it's usually good to go out there and actually just be clear that you're interested in her romantically. That could be asking her out on a date, it could be paying her a compliment. You want to be communicating with her as a potential romantic partner. If you're confident you've done that, the second thing you really need to focus on doing is just listening and to see if she is relatively on the same page as you in terms of what she's actually able to offer you. If your advances are getting met with a lot of flaky responses, she's perhaps not being that communicative or only wants to hang out in a group of people and won't give you one-on-one time on a date, then the most confident and attractive thing you can do here is read and interpret her signals that for whatever her reasons, she's just not able to date you right now, and move on. So rather than thinking about how can you get someone to like you, it's much more powerful to think, how can I express myself clearly, and how can I make sure how they're interacting with me lines up with my standards? And if it doesn't, how can I shift my focus elsewhere? So the last question that I got sent in advance is from Paula, who asks how to approach rejection in a positive way. And I actually thought this was a brilliant question because we all experience rejection in all different areas of our lives. But I think in dating, it obviously feels really personal and can be quite hard to deal with. Now, there's some positives you can take from it though. To begin with, remember, someone isn't actually rejecting you. All they're rejecting is the snapshot impression they got of you, whether that's looking at your profile on Match or the first message you sent. It's like not necessarily liking the book cover, but it doesn't mean the contents of the book are bad. You can take, however, a bit of a lesson from that and think, do I need to make some adjustments here to my profile? Do I need to make adjustments to my first messages that I send out so that they get received in a better way? The other thing about rejection is to remember that you only really need one good yes, right? So if your big goal is to meet someone, I know it doesn't feel this way at the time, but it actually doesn't matter if a few people along the way say no, or maybe more than a few people. I've definitely had a lot of rejection myself in the world of dating. As long as you can keep going to that person who's going to give you the yes. So take that no on board, shift your energy and focus elsewhere, and see yourself as on the path to getting onto your wider dating goals of meeting someone amazing. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our first section, which is all about how low confidence can negatively impact your dating experiences and how you can change that.